Hey everybody, today I want to talk about HIIT training. It's been a rage and a trend for quite some time now, but I'm still seeing so many people do it the wrong way, so many people still not understanding what it is. So I want to kind of make some clarifications, some simple principles to follow to help you get started with it or to help you to do it right if you've been doing it and you're kind of afraid that you may be doing it wrong. And again, there's right or wrong. It's really more about, are you increasing your risk of injury too high, and are you actually getting long-term health benefits, or are you deteriorating your long-term health for this whole high-intensity workout? So first and foremost, like everything else, you got to build into it gradually and slowly. If you haven't been doing Tabata, even if you work out and you do, let's say, strength training and then cardio, and you're alternating that old traditional workouts, and all of a sudden, hey, you heard about HIIT, you jump into these HIIT classes or Tabata classes where they're doing this high intensity stuff for 30 to 45 minutes, and you do it 3 or 4 days a week. I think that's way too much. I think it is detrimental to your long-term health. But again, it's really, you have to make the decisions for yourself. To me, it's really about gradually building into this. So I want to show you some basic examples of Tabata exercises for beginners, and then as you advance, different exercises you can do. And let's, before we get into that, talk about principles of it, right? It's really about how many seconds you go into high intensity and how long is your recovery. So in some high intensity interval training, you can do a 12 to 20 second massive burst, high intensity as far as you can go, and do a 3 to 4 minute recovery. And if you do it for 20 or 30 minutes, that has been shown to actually really help with long-term health benefits like methylation and telomere length and stuff like that. So doing that once or twice a week is fantastic. Again, start with a 3 to 4 minute warm-up, push as hard as you can, literally for 12 to 20 seconds, and then recover for 3 to 4 minutes, and just do it every 3 or 4 minutes. You go into high intensity, and there's massive long-term health benefits according to the research. Now let's get into the kind of the shorter burst stuff. What I recommend people starting with is picking either 15 or 20 seconds to start with, and then if you do 15, do like a 30-second recovery. If you do 20, do a 40-second recovery, so you can kind of watch your clock and be able to follow it fairly easily as you're doing this. If you're more intermediate to advanced, start with like a 30-second, 30-second, or 20-second, 20-second, or 15-second, 20-second. Again, it gets a little harder unless you have an app that sets up the time that way. So for simplifying this, I'm going to start with beginners. Do 15 or 20 seconds. If you do 15, do a 30-second recovery. If you do 20, do a 40-second recovery, and try that and see how it goes. For more intermediate to advanced, doing a 30-30 is really good. You're not going to get as high intensity if you go that long. You could do Tabata, which is 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, but that's only a max of 4 minutes. The other thing I kind of recommend is doing 15 seconds and 30 seconds, even if you're intermediate to advanced, because you're going to be able to push pretty hard during those 15 seconds, and you can do more advanced exercises. I also recommend just doing 4 to 8 minutes the first few times you're doing this, maybe increasing to 12 to 20 minutes after a few weeks or a few months. But again, start with somewhere between 4 and 8 minutes and just see how you do. It should feel pretty exhausting, especially if you're doing it at the end of a workout, kind of like a fat-burning, massive finish to your workout. We call fat burning finishers. Really 4 to 8 minutes is max, especially if you've been working out. If it's kind of a standalone workout, you do want to do 5 to 10 minutes of a light warm-up exercises, either yoga, trampoline, some kind of light cardio to get the body warmed up. Then do maybe 8 to 15 or 8 to 20 minutes total of the interval training, and then again a cool down. So let's go into some of these basic exercises. I think one of the easiest one is a goblet squat. So you want upper and lower body working together if you can, because that's going to use or increase your heart rate faster, and you only have a few seconds to get your heart rate up. So a good goblet squat, you're here squatting down, and you're going to go as fast as you can up under your toes, right? And that's kind of a basic exercise. Just make sure you're able to squat, shift the weight back to the heels, and here you go, right? If you're a little bit more advanced, you can start adding jumps to these and do that. So one thing I recommend is to change your foot positions. So maybe the second round I do it, I'm going to go staggered stance and switching my feet, if that makes sense. Or you can change the exercise. If your legs burn too much, after a few minutes of that, do something which is more upper body, and we'll talk about that in a second. As you can see, this gets your heart rate up pretty fast. You can also go from here and do squat to presses. So another way to get the body working upper and lower body. If you're able to jump, you may use really nice light weights. These are 15 pounds, but for that type of exercise, it's going to work a lot. Again, just giving you some ideas of what you can do for that burst. You may find exercise you alternate, you may do the same one. Some of the most common you'll find in HIIT training are burpees. If you're a beginner, you may just use the weight, come down, and come up. Use the weight to help you a little bit, and there's your beginner. If you're more advanced, you can bring the weight up each time. And then again, to go even further, you can go into a push-up, you can go up into a press and jump. Push-up, press and jump. And that one you may or may not even use weights. So again, just giving you some ideas of ways you can do these exercises. Another great interval exercise to me is mountain climbers. You can use the weights for your wrist or not, but here just kind of as fast as you can, sprinting. And coming up. Rest, go back again. Again, your shoulders, because you're holding in that push-up position, are working. So upper body, core, and your legs are driving. So those are just some basic examples of really good interval exercises. A couple little things I want to share too. I bought these weighted ropeless jump ropes. They're great even if you don't know how to jump rope. I do know how, but I like using them because I'm indoors and I don't have the ceiling. I probably do, but I don't have the room for a jump rope. But because they're weighted, my shoulders are going to work a little bit more. And if I go high knee sprint, that's a really good way to, again, to do a Tabata. I'm sorry, or an interval. You can do it for Tabata or any exercise. But again, the key is to get your heart rate way up there, work as hard as you can, and then recover. The last one I want to show you, and this is a little bit easier for most people. It depends how strong of bands you get. But if you're a beginner, it's a really good one to start with. Again, here, and you just gotta get into a lunging position. I have bands anchored behind me, and I'm just gonna punch as fast as I can. Just make sure there's enough resistance in the bands that they're not that easy, that you really are getting a decent amount of work as you're doing this. So many of these exercises can be done by beginners, intermediate, and more advanced. Just think about the timing of it, and hopefully this will help you on your way to really building a good, well-rounded exercise regimen, which includes 1 or 2 days a week of interval training, according to my recommendation, especially if you're over 35, and I'm just a little bit over 35. So again, wherever you're at, build slowly from there. Use these exercises, even if you're a beginner, the ropeless jump rope and just going high knees as fast as you can. I think is a great one. It's low impact for most people if you have good cushioning on the ground. And again, the goblet squats are different ideas. You can do it. If you have other ideas, let us know, share them. But I just wanted to kind of get this out there. I think high intensity interval training is a great resource to build strength, lungs and heart, to burn fat, get you really good results, but it's got to be done gradually and it's got to be done in moderation. Don't overdo it, don't burn yourself out, and don't hurt yourself, all right? Have a blessed day. Peace.